Hello, everybody, and welcome to, I almost can't believe it, but my fifth annual call-in for ex-Muslims for Ramadan. How's it going, everyone? And I'm joined this time by special guest, Sammy or Haram Doodles. Welcome, welcome.
Hi, nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh no, I'm really glad that you're joining me this time. I've been wanting to have someone to join me in these for a long time, and just to get like a different perspective from someone who's been an ex-Muslim and the challenges that an ex-Muslim faces. So it's really good to have you here. And yeah, if you want to check out previous live streams that I've done in previous years, I did include the links for the two I did last year in the video description, and you can also find out more about Haram Doodles, who's an excellent artist who makes hilarious but very pointed and sharply critical doodles about Islam on Instagram. You can check out her Instagram in the link below. So yeah, Ramadan is here again. Are you practicing it while pretending to be Muslim? Are you doing anything Ramadan related?
No, I'm doing nothing Ramadan related. The only thing I'm doing is avoiding the questions and navigating how to answer this question of, are you fasting? How's it going? It's like,
oh yeah,
it's
the
going all
fasting
right.
question. Yeah. I've mentioned this before on the channel, but there was always this one way when I was living in the Middle East where people could tell if you were fasting or not, when they would say, "Show me your tongue." And supposedly, if your tongue was like really dry and white, that proved that you actually had been fasting. So yeah, I'm kind of glad that I've escaped all of that. So yeah, I live in Canada, and none of my very religious practicing relatives are in Canada nearby, so I don't have to do this pretending thing. So, but I'm lucky, and I guess you're lucky too, because a lot of ex-Muslims do have to basically pretend like they're still practicing. They still pray and go to the mosque and fast sometimes, and that can be really challenging in a lot of different ways. And so what I wanted to do is let everyone know that there is a poll question that you can vote in at any time. And the poll question is, you can see it in the live chat. And the question is, are you currently observing Ramadan in any way? And you've got four options. So yes, as a believing Muslim, there might be some believing Muslims who are tuning in. Yes, but as an ex-Muslim pretending, I have a feeling that's going to be either number one or number two. And then there's no. So you're an ex-Muslim and you're not practicing Ramadan anyway, and I would put myself in that category. And then there's going to be some people who are not Muslim or not ex-Muslim, and so you can also vote there. And I wanted to also mention for everyone, if you can kind of see, hold on, I'm going to move a little bit. We do have some merch that we're wearing. So these ex-Muslim t-shirts are not affiliated with me. They're all Haram Doodles. So if you want to get your own ex-Muslim shirt to show your solidarity in ways that, of course, are safe for you, you can check out the link in the video description to Haram Doodles shop. I got the super soft t-shirt, and it really is super soft. And she's not paying me to promote this, by the way. Just to clarify.
I made him pay for the t-shirt.
She did make me pay for the t-shirt. That's true. Yeah. And so if you want to call in, and this call-in is specifically for ex-Muslims or questioning Muslims only. So I know that there's some people who might be non-Muslims, maybe atheists who want to chime in. Unfortunately, we can't do this in this call-in, but I'll be doing other call-ins where I'll be talking to people from all kinds of backgrounds. So in the live chat, you'll see a link pinned to call in to join us on StreamYard. So what we'll do here is there's going to be a moderator who'll be asking some vetting questions, and then we'll have you on. And depending on how many callers there are, I do see quite a queue already, actually. So I do ask anyone who calls in to try and keep it a little bit short, just to give everyone else a chance to also talk. So maybe like 10 to 15 minutes each, I think is a good length for each call. So please keep that in mind when you do call in and start talking with us. Thank you so much. And if you don't get a chance to call in, or maybe you're not comfortable, using your voice for whatever reason, for safety reasons, Haram Doodles and a few of our ex-Muslim colleagues also created this really cool initiative, a website where you can actually share your story safely and anonymously. And it's called xmuslim.me. There's a link for that in the video description as well. And I might try just sharing my screen just to show it to everyone as well. If you want to have a visual look at it, just give me one.
It's the first ever global map of ex-Muslim stories. So just even visualizing us on the map was important for me in helping create this website. And also just shout out to my partner, who is also an ex-Muslim atheist, who really did the back end work to make this come to life. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And so if you're looking, if you're watching on YouTube and not just listening, you can actually see what the website looks like. So yeah, it's like designed like a map, like almost like Google Maps or something, and you can zoom in and you can find stories from across the world. And this actually shows I guess the reach of Islam, but also the reach of people who have left Islam, spanning almost every continent. No South American ex-Muslims, but tons in Asia and Europe, some in Australia, looks like, some in Africa, and some in North America. So yeah, you can just zoom in.
Added. Yeah,
Oh,
sorry,
please, go ahead.
I didn't mean to cut you off. We just added data. So if you click on there's a little yellow banner on the bottom left where it says % atheist. And so that also, every story that gets submitted, we ask people to submit optional data if they want. And it's all anonymous. We don't know anything about you on the back end, but we just aggregate the data just so everyone else can see that too. So it's really interesting. Most of us are atheist and agnostic.
Yeah, let me zoom out so we can take a look at the data here. So most are atheist or agnostic. It seems almost 50-50 male, female. There's some non-binary and some trans as well. And you can actually see that this was what interested me most when you showed me this the first time. The age when leaving Islam. So the most common age is 19. I left when I was 18. And as you can see, at least 63% left under the age of 24. So, and this being, social media, the decade that people left Islam, most are in the 2020s, not surprising.
Right.
Yeah, it really drops after the 2010s. I left, I think, 2000, it would have been 2008. So I would be in that 6%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I think I was around 2013.
2013, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're in the 2010s.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, feel free to call in and also share your story on xmuslim.me. I think it's really cool how you can just see stories of people who live near you. In Toronto, where I live, there's looks like there's 43 stories, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, 4 stories. It just has 43 hearts. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and anyone go to the website and react to these stories as well. We wanted to keep the reactions open to everyone, and then the stories are specifically for ex-Muslims. So just, it's been really cool. We launched it December 1st, and just really amazing that we have over almost 500 stories now.
Almost 500 stories, yeah. It's very cool.
Oh, look at that. And someone's interacting with it. You can see it too.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. So one thing I wanted to do before we start with our callers, and we do have our first caller already. Arif, if you can hear me, you're up next. But we just wanted to talk about something that I think is a universal cause of the problems that ex-Muslims face, and I would say even Muslims. And this is the topic that I wanted to discuss with you, Sammy. So it's something I only really kind of realized and conceptualized, is maybe the better word to use, after I left Islam. And it's how, when you're Muslim, you're taught this warped view of the world where, you're being threatened with like unimaginably horrible punishment in the afterlife. And I know that there's some disagreement amongst Muslims on whether that punishment is eternal or if you're just punished,
short-lived,
punished horribly for a weekend or a year or whatever, and then you go back to God with no grudges or hard feelings, I guess, because you deserved to suffer that way. So that is supposed to be the foundation for a peaceful, loving, good society where everyone is kind to each other. Like, this is like the ideal conception. And to have that built on so much fear and suffering is completely absurd. It makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the one thing I feel like I learned from that was catastrophizing everything. And so, like, everything feels like a catastrophe. Everything feels like the world is ending. Of course, there have been moments in our lives that everything feels like it's falling apart. Like the moment we're like, oh shit, I don't think I believe in Islam anymore. Um, but I think that whole sort of scenario of hellfire and being burned in hell and the sort of test and punishment, all these things, I feel like I grew up with a lot of fear, um, and just feeling like everything was around me was just gonna crumble in a second. And so just almost like tiptoeing around on eggshells all the time
Yeah.
from the fear. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I think that's what keeps a lot of people believing for a very long time, even when they do have their doubts, and these are doubts maybe they've never
Yeah.
expressed to anyone besides themselves, and maybe they're doubts that they've suppressed even within. And for me, that it really came to the fore during Ramadan, because this is the time where you're supposed to be at your spiritual max, where you're reading the Quran more, where you're praying more, and you're making
Yeah.
more of an effort to be the good Muslim. And it's where I guess what Muslims envision is that's a time where you reaffirm the power of your faith. But when you're having those doubts, maybe these are doubts you've had since you were a kid, uh, then it's a place where all the doubts are kind of magnified, because it's now an even bigger part of your life, bigger and bigger. So in
It's
that
like all
way,
consuming.
it's all
Yeah, in
consuming.
a
Yeah,
way.
yeah. In that way, I think Ramadan can actually be a good time to, and as Muslims say, to reflect on your faith, but that reflection might actually lead a lot of questioning Muslims to leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, maybe there's a few callers who are going to discuss that with us today.
Yeah.
So
Maybe there's someone out there like during
mhm,
Tarawih right now with headphones on listening to our show.
yeah, yeah,
Listening
you
to
never
us
know.
talking.
You really never know. Yeah. So Arif, if you're ready, we can have you hop on as the caller. Just wave hello at me if you're ready. Okay, Arif is good to go. All right, you're gonna join in 3, 2, 1. Hey
Hey
Arif, how's
guys,
it
how's it
going?
going?
Hi.
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
All good,
Good.
R. And Arif, for people who don't know you, you're a frequent caller. You've called in the past, and you've been a supporter of my channel for a really long time. And yeah, it's just really good to see you again. How's it going?
Yeah, good, good. Yeah, it has been. Yeah, this is like the third. I mean, I know you said this is your fifth year. Fifth year. I think this is my third year on here. So yeah, it's quite. It's good. Pretty good that you've you've managed to do this for every year for 5 years. That's really good.
Yeah, I think it's shown that there is this demand for, if nothing else, an outlet that maybe people don't have in their day-to-day lives. Some of my most viewed videos are these live streams, and I like I like the idea of having it just as like a resource online in case anyone wants to see if there's people who are going through the same thing as them, or how people have figured out navigating some of the challenges that they're facing in their own lives.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's great. Hello, Haram Doodles, Sammy.
Hi.
How are you? You all right?
Good. Doing well.
Nice,
Nice to meet you.
nice seeing you guys on. Yeah, I don't know if you remember. Obviously, we met a
In
while back as
Oslo.
well. Yeah,
Yeah.
in Oslo.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I didn't even realize the about the website. So that's really amazing work. So
Oh,
yeah, I
thank
thought I'd
you.
check that out. I feel like
Thank you.
I've
Thank
been
you.
not following much of the ex-Muslim stuff, especially on YouTube. But I know you done. I mean, specifically, obviously, I know you done a stream with Mariam Namazi recently.
Yeah.
I was supposed to. Yes, I wanted to catch that as well. I think I only managed to catch a bit of that. But obviously, with everything crazy kicking off today, probably
Yeah.
worth going back to that again. But yeah, madness, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And the thing that's so troubling about it is, I think there's like a lot of people who have conflicting emotions about it, because there's some people who really want Iranians to have freedom from the horrible Islamic regime there. But then like it's almost like maybe you're doing like a bargain with the devil, by getting the support of Trump and America, because we all know what Trump is after. So I really do think a lot of people, like Iranians, like across the world, who are kind of facing this like really difficult dilemma of what to support.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so Arif, tell us what's new, what's happening your end with Ramadan. You have to remind us. Do you have to practice it, or are you kind of like open about not being a practicing Muslim?
No, I think it's relatively quite. I wouldn't say similar, but yeah, I don't really have to practice. I'm quite lucky in that regard. I mean, my family, specifically my parents, are quite relaxed and not necessarily
Lucky.
Yeah, except obviously, I did mention this obviously. I think probably in Oslo as well, and maybe in the last couple of streams as well. Obviously, my wife is practicing Muslim, whatever that kind of means. But yeah, we've got two kids, kind of make it work. But yeah, it's not my favorite month, but yeah. So yeah, I don't really have to. I think a few years back, I used to have to pretend on the iftars and stuff, but I don't really. There's not many iftars I have to go to, and the ones that I have to it's usually from my side, and they're quite relaxed. They know my views and stuff, so yeah, it's quite good in that regard. Yeah.
And there's so much family pressure too during Ramadan to just attend all the iftars and go for prayers, and like you're sort of doing all these things with other people, and so there's a sort of sense to like kind of get sucked into it, reluctantly.
Yeah, I liked the little comment on just before you guys went live about the someone listening in Tarawih. I don't have a skull cap. I was thinking, shall I find a skull cap and pretend I'm in Tarawih?
Yeah, it's easier for the girls to do it because we got to wear all the things for Allah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's sorry, I didn't really I only caught a little bit of the kind of topic that you were kind of discussing, or that you wanted to discuss on this. And I know obviously you said try and keep it as kind of brief, to like about 10 minutes. But I just wanted to quickly. I've always noticed, Aleem, in the background, you've got like 1001 movies.
Oh yeah, I do. I just don't think you can see it right now. Where is it?
No, I see it, and it's round. I can't see it, but I've always seen it in your streams. And I thought I'd throw a slightly different question for you guys, maybe. But yeah, in terms of movies, I don't know. Well, obviously, clearly you're into movies, Aleem. I don't know how much you are for Haram Doodles, but I was just going to throw a question out. What if obviously in terms of Christmas, you have Christmas movies. Is there any like Ramadan movies? If you it doesn't necessarily have to be Ramadan.
No.
That is okay.
From an ex-Muslim perspective, I don't mean like as in if there's a movie that you can recommend to ex-Muslims, it doesn't necessarily have to be like because I'll just throw mine out there. Obviously, because of I know it's quite popular with the Red Pill and Andrew Tate. Always talking about Matrix, but I've always loved the Matrix in that regards, because you can kind of see the parallels of the ex-Muslim realizing everything's all right. So yeah, that would be my movie. But
we have to make that decision of taking the red or the blue pill.
That's actually a really interesting one because I think what that movie did really well, and I don't think it just it's not just about maybe religion, but I think what it encourages is to not take everything around you for granted, and giving you like a different, like a vantage point where maybe you can look at your life from a different perspective. So if there's anything that the Matrix did, maybe it was that. And I'm not going to talk about the recent sequel or any of the other ones, because those are awful. Yeah, that's a great recommendation. Let me think. So I'm always going to have something to say when it's a movie related question. So Arif, thank you so much for that. I think, okay, this is going to sound maybe a bit weird, but one that I would recommend, especially maybe to people who left Islam a while ago and maybe have like enough of like a separation from it where they can look back and maybe, I don't know if laugh is the right word, but like to to see the absurdity of it. But I would recommend the 1970s movie The Message, which is like this big biopic that was like done in the style of Hollywood movies about the Prophet Muhammad and the first few years of Islam. And I watched this movie as a kid, as a believer Muslim, and I thought it was amazing because it was like kind of like Lord of the in my mind, a real life Lord of the Rings, because it has action, battles, revenge, and all of these things, and like it's like this epic story of the rise of good over evil. But here's the fascinating thing about it, watching it now as a non-believer, is so. Have you heard of this movie, Sammy, by the way?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
And I feel
you
like
seen
I've
it?
probably watched it. I cannot remember anything from it. I love movies, but I'm the worst at trying to recollect, like, what was that line or what was that scene?
No worries, no worries. So here's the thing that I think will blow away anyone who's not a Muslim. Okay, so let's say I'm like a movie producer and I'm telling you you're the director, and I'm assigning you to make this movie. Okay, you're gonna make this movie, this big epic movie about this hero, the Prophet Muhammad, and you're like, okay, sure, but here's the catch: you can't show him because you can't depict the Prophet Muhammad. So
Right.
you would think that would be an obstacle that would prevent the making of a movie, but they did it somehow. So it's like beyond it, like seeing the like how Islam mythologizes itself, where I would think that what's so interesting about Islam is Muslims kind of veer from presenting themselves as this indomitable force, like this we're the fastest growing religion, we have Allah on our side, and yet they're also so vulnerable and weak and attacked by capitalism or the Western world, Christianity. So it's like they can't decide if they're vulnerable or strong, and you really see that in this movie. And the way they decided to depict Muhammad is you never see him, you just hear this.
And it's just his back, right?
Sometimes you see
Yeah.
sort of his back, the back of his head, maybe, but it's like this weird mystical music that comes around because you can't hear his words either. So whenever
Can you imitate the music?
it's like something like that. And so yeah, I would recommend that just to kind of like revisit the stories that you learned as a Muslim and seeing it from the perspective of a non-believer now.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, Sammy, your turn. Any recommendations?
I'm trying to think. I think, gosh, there's so many good movies. There's too many. I can't, like, this is like an impossible question. I don't know. Talk.
Okay.
I will think.
Okay, if you think of one, you can
I
mention
will
it
come back
later
to you.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Arif, is there anything else you want to share with everyone? I think one thing that might be good to hear from you, and I think this is something we've discussed before, but like in terms of navigating how to explain Islam in the lives of like your kids, and with like the differing perspectives on that. Like, is there any advice you would give?
Well, this is quite a difficult one, and obviously I don't want to keep going a long winded. But I mean, obviously the thing is, obviously because of our kind of situation, because my wife, we've always had clashes on this kind of side. I've always said like we've got the kind of easiest solution is to try and keep it out. I don't know if it's similar to, because obviously I remember hearing your story in terms of your parents weren't very, very religious, but then they never really explained to you their religious views. So it's kind of like that. I mean, the kids do know our religious views, but we try to keep it. I just want to try and keep religion away from them, and also vice versa. Also, like any atheists or any kind of talk of kind of belief away. And so really my focus is just like education. So this year I'm actually homeschooling them. So they're going to be doing their maths GCSE, which is like, I don't know what the US equivalent is, but it's basically the exams that you do at age 16. So they're doing them.
I guess it's like a SAT, a pre-SAT, the P.
Yeah.
PSAT.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
guess
yeah.
it's quite similar. So they're doing that about. I'm homeschooling them on that, so they're doing that 4 or 5 years earlier. So I just want them to try and focus on the education and just try to, kind of get a foundational level of understanding. Like again, maths. It doesn't just, in my opinion, doesn't just teach you about numbers or how to do this equation and that. It kind of helps you to start problem solving and so in that regards, it's just I want them to kind of be able to think, get that. There's a quote there. It's quoted many times. I can't remember the exact quote now, but it's like, you shouldn't teach children what to think, but you should teach children how to think.
Mm,
So that's
that's
like
really
my
good.
kind of thing, is get them how to think, and then when they get older, if they want to become, be like, oh wow, Islam is amazing, and that's up to them. So, once they're at the age of reason, or whatever, whatever that point is. But really, like, I want them to focus on kind of figuring out, just getting critical thinking skills, and then after that, it's just they can do whatever they choose to do, isn't it? So that's my. If I was giving advice, even I would say, even if both if there's a couple and both of them are not religious, I would say to kind of avoid. No, well, obviously teach them about different religions, different ways of life, but kind of avoid any kind of putting your own philosophy on them. So that's kind of would be my advice.
I agree. That's
I'm
I'm
laughing also
I'm
because both, like, my partner and I are both ex-Muslim atheists, and we decided not to have children. And so there is another way. Like, you can kind of, it's up to you to choose whether you want children, whether you don't not want children, and how you want your children to grow up. And I wish more parents did that, Arif. Like, I wish more parents gave us the option, right? Like, I don't think we would even exist if they actually just gave us the option to, like, freely choose whatever we wanted, and we didn't grow up with this sort of strict versions of Islam that were implemented in our homes. But,
Yeah, well,
but yeah, thank you for
the tough
sharing.
thing, thank you so much for sharing. The tough thing is that, like, and I'm not trying to judge Muslim parents here, but like they're doing this because they think they're doing the best for their kids.
Right.
So it's like coming, even though it manifests sometimes in like horrible ways, where parents will even go to lengths of beating their children or disowning them.
Yeah.
It's in a warped way coming from this place of love in many instances, and that's what makes it so difficult, because they're thinking, well, I'm cutting my child off from their family, but maybe that will encourage them to go back to Islam and not go to hell.
Yeah,
which is wild.
Should we move to another call or two? Thank you, Arif. It was really nice.
So much for joining, Arif.
Seeing you again.
Yeah, cool. It was really nice seeing you guys again. Sorry, I've had the doorbell about 3 times while I've been on the call. So
no
cool.
worries.
See you guys later.
Arif, you must come next year as well. Let's make it a standing appointment.
Definitely. Cool.
All right. Take care.
Let's see you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much, Arif. It's great to see him again. Yeah, I think this is his 3rd year in a row calling in, so it's good to see that there's that kind of continuity. And I wanted to also say thank you to another longtime supporter of my channel. Many of you may know him. He's an ex-Muslim YouTuber OG, Hassan Radwan. So his movie suggestion for Ramadan for ex-Muslims is The Wizard of Oz, because this is a minor spoiler, but the movie's like 80 years old. So, I think it's okay to spoil this movie. Realizing that the Wizard of Oz is just a charlatan behind the curtain. And could that be a metaphor for God? Who knows? Yeah.
Interesting. Do we have another caller?
We do, actually. So we do have, you might have to correct me on the pronunciation, Mikha'il. Mikha'il, if you are...
Like the angel?
Mikha'il, if you're ready, just let me know in the private chat if you're ready to go. Okay, Mikha'il's ready. And yeah, okay, Mikha'il, I'll have you hop on in a second. I just want to let everyone know, so the link to call in is in the live chat. It is pinned, so it's just through StreamYard. So what you'll do is you click the link, and then you'll enter the interface, and then I have a moderator, who will be asking some vetting questions. You do not have to appear on camera like Arif just did, so you can just call in and keep your camera turned off in case you want to do that, just for a little bit more safety or privacy. Okay, with that out of the way, Mikha'il, I'm going to add you in 3, 2, 1.
Hello there, how's it going?
Hi.
Hello.
Just give me a second, sorry, to adjust my microphone. Hi there, Mr. Secular Spirit and Miss Haram Doodles.
Hello,
Hi.
Mikha'il. Am I pronouncing your name
It's
correctly, by the way?
Mikha'il.
Mikha'il. Okay. Nice
Yeah,
to meet you,
also,
Mikha'il.
nice to meet you. Secular Spirit, I have a little bit of a bone to pick with you. You know, me and you have actually spoken before over Instagram.
Oh, we have. Tell me
Yes.
more.
So I emailed you, told you my story. I went by the pseudonym of Michael. And from there, we were talking about a specific Muslim apologist. And we followed me back on Instagram. And from there, I was texting you with your response to some issues you were undergoing. And you have yet to reply me back.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Mikha'il. As I'm sure you can understand, I do get a lot of messages and emails from people. I do try to get back as much as possible, but I am only human. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. No hard feelings, man. Anyway, it's a pleasure to meet you, Secular Spirit. I've actually spoken to, you can actually look it up. I've spoken to Mr. Apostate Aladdin. I was on his stream too. And now I'm here with you, and I'm very glad to have that opportunity here.
Yeah.
So,
what would you like to talk about?
Well, as I previously prefaced with Beanie, if I just can get it up, I wanted to talk about my journey, discussing how my philosophy conflicts with Islam's philosophy, and talking about my experience during the holy month of Ramadan. So, as you can imagine, I too am an Arab. I am not the most religious. I'm pretty much almost there to reaching ex-Muslimhood, if that is even a thing. The reason why is because I've done a huge deep dive. So when I was very young, you can imagine, I was very religious. Very religious because I had an impressionable mind. I was surrounded with my mother, who was devout. Well, who is still devout Muslim. I was surrounded by her siblings, my aunts and uncles, who were also religious, some of them even being imams, some of them even following strict Islamic moral values. But as I grew older, and obviously the natural progression would dictate that I would also grow wiser. And in the midst of that, I began researching the religion, not simply following what my mother would dictate, but rather just doing my own thing, branching out and discovering the truth or the supposed beauty, quote unquote, of this religion that I've been born in. And in all honesty, I've not found anything that has been described to me. All I've found reading the book, keep in mind I've read the Quran front to back many times. I found nothing that distinguishes Islam as its own religion that has specialty, that has beauty. All I've seen is just a carbon copy of all the other faiths. Just another progression of primitive morals, primitive science, primitive philosophy, and primitive human guidance. I've not seen anything of value. Now, you can imagine a young child discovering that everything in his life, everything that he believed in his life was actually fake. You can imagine how daunting it can be coming on the realization. There's a saying, which is that ignorance is bliss. Knowledge can be a curse. And trust me, I used to neglect that saying. I used to think, how is knowledge a curse? Surely knowledge is a good thing. No, Mikha'il. Knowledge is not just a good thing. It can also be a very bad thing. It can scare the hell out of you. Turns out, upon realizing that, I couldn't sleep that day. I was surrounded with horror. How could this religion that I've believed in for so long end up to be nothing but a carbon copy of everything else that I was told was wrong? Christianity, Judaism. Fundamentally, with the philosophy, with the principles, there's not much of a difference. I mean, of course, I'm not going to say they're the same thing because that would be wrong. But Islam itself is no different. Sending people who do not wish to believe in the religion to hell, I believe, is immoral. I believe it's immoral, unpragmatic, and awful. And what I also believe is, and a lot of people disagree with me, but once they talk about it, they can actually understand why I believe this. Some of them even go ahead and actually take on my viewpoint, is that I don't believe evil people exist. I believe that people have only been programmed in a certain way via their environmental conditions or the genetics to produce certain outputs. When you look at humans that way, you tend to realize there's no such thing as good or evil. There's only income. There's only input and then output. Good and evil, we are supposed to value them. But to make an entire human being's quote unquote value predicated on the assumption that they believe that certain things are good or bad, or that they act out these things, I believe is simply neglectful. It's neglectful and it's immoral. For a God who supposedly engineered human beings, I believe would be beneath him or her or it to view humans in such a way, to be angry at them when they don't view you as the way you wish, being angry and awful towards them, calling them all sorts of things, saying that they are the worst of creation, that they are awful things. And I look at this and I think, how could God put him to such a level to say something like this? Why would he ever put himself in such a position, to a human position, to be very clear, to say these things? And this is no novel observation. I am telling you this right now. This is no novel observation. Any grad student who studies any form of clinical psychology could tell you the same thing I'm telling you. The fact that this is something that I have to teach people who are still in the faith goes a long way into showing that it's less about truth claims and more about indoctrination, more about propagation, less about truth telling and truth seeking, more about control, power, and divine authority. Now, throughout the years, I've also expanded my knowledge on philosophy, basically studying cognitive science and the roots of philosophy, how cognition works and spans across a variety of disciplines conjured up by a variety of different societies and an arrangement of so many different thoughts and perspectives. And what I've come to realize is one very key component. This goes for any sort of framework, any sort of idea, whether it be, for example, epistemology, ontology, or a variety of empirical observationalists. It comes down to one fundamental thing, and that is the common denominator. It's that these frameworks are genuine. They may be wrong, or they may be right. They may make sense, or they may be inconsistent, but they're genuine. These things were constructed with a mind that genuinely believed them. Whether this philosophy may be right or wrong, that's number one, a different term,
So you're saying that people connect to the authenticity of
exactly.
it. Yeah,
Exactly.
because
I mean, of course, it isn't apparent if you disagree, but regardless, they're all authentic in a way in which the mind that formed them genuinely believed in its propositions.
yeah, I think when I look back on and by the way, I agree with one of the first points you made, that if you really look into the history of religions, Islam is kind of like this hodgepodge of some aspects of Christianity, some aspects of Judaism, some other kinds of things thrown in there. But like what makes me think is like, how do these things survive? And I think it's for the reason that you just explained. It's because it has this authenticity where it appeals to our innermost desires to know what happens after death, to understand why there's suffering in the world, and then it's passed down generation after generation by trusted figures in our lives who we know love us, or we think love us anyway. So whether that's our parents or religious figures, political leaders, and it goes on and on and on, and until it's been thousands and thousands of years.
Exactly.
I would say too, I mean, and beyond that, it was also who had the power to spread that message. How much power did they have? How much money did they have? How many, like what kinds of resources did they have to like put that message out there and actually like, bring people in on this like exclusive club membership that had just started in the 7th century. And
I
so
like your
I
phrasing.
think it often feels like an exclusive club, right? Like there's no opt out. You can't leave. We unsubscribe anyway. They get really mad at us. And so I think, that colonization, the Arab Muslim colonization on top of, right, like everybody else, kind of the authorities in our lives, like perpetuating those messages and making sure that those messages keep and continue to get passed down from, family after family after, and generation after generation. So I think, yeah, just even ensuring that we there's a bunch of things that happen to make this religion or a cult into a religion.
That is a brilliant point, and to add on to that, we must acknowledge one thing that makes religion so widespread. It was our first attempt at understanding everything. It was our first attempt at philosophy, our first attempt at cosmology, our first attempt at even science, our first attempt at even trying to explain away, for example, the existence of the sky. Why is the sky blue? What is that
Yeah.
big bright thing in the sky that we now know as the sun? Why is it
Or
dark
what
in the night?
happens after we die? Like even
Exactly.
just that. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why religion is so widespread, because it was our first attempt at everything. Like, for example, and this is not only something I'm actually putting into my new book that I'll be releasing. A person in here, by the way, I just want to quickly shout them out. There's a specific human being watching this live stream. She knows you guys. I've been introducing. In fact, I'm the one who actually converted her out of the religion. Fun fact: I actually helped her leave this, faith, and she's actually watching the live stream right now. So I just want to say hello to you. Trust me. I hope one day you guys get to meet her. She is someone you'd love to talk to. She's brilliant. She actually has read a few of my works because I'm actually publishing a new book.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm quite. And keep in mind, I'm doing it bit by bit because I'm only 18 years old, so I don't have enough time to, try and formulate something like that so quickly. But this is a popular thing I want to actually mention, which is that, and it was even propped up by Christopher Hitchens. I'm sure you both are aware of him.
Mhm.
May he rest
Yeah.
in peace. He formulated this beautiful point where he articulated that religion was our first attempt at understanding everything. As our first attempt at philosophy, cosmology, history too. First attempt at everything. So why it remains so widespread is because it's pretty much a simple and undeniable fact that it's the easy way out in terms of explaining things. Like it follows a simple framework. There's someone out there who made everything, who engineered you. Human beings are very complex creatures. One thing you'll also understand is, and I'm sure you've noticed this, Mr. or Alim, I'm sure you've noticed this. Religion allows little to no room for introspection, for understanding. Most of people who ask questions, firstly, are met with, fear responses. Someone who isn't immediately in immediate agreement poses as some sort of threat. Has she disconnected? Oh, sorry.
Hello? No, we
I
can still
thought-
hear you.
I thought Haram Doodles had disconnected. Sorry
No.
for that.
I mean,
She froze for a second. What was I saying? Yeah. Where was I?
Well, Mikha'il, can I ask you this question?
Oh, yeah,
Because
sure.
we
Yeah,
also
go
can't we can't stay with one guest for too long, unfortunately. But I did want to ask you one question, and then
Yes, of
maybe
course.
you can tell people where they might be able to get your book once you do publish it. My question for you, okay, so you're 18, and I always think about this for myself. Like, why do you think you were able to see another side of Islam and leave it when others don't. I think that about myself too. Like what's your best guess on why you were able to?
Are you asking me why did I leave? Like how did I manage to leave?
More
Not
like
how.
yeah, please
Aleem, I understand what you're saying. What are the chances that, like, for example, if you live in a family with, Mikha'il, I don't know how many siblings you have, but say you have 3 siblings. Out of the 3 of you, you actually are moving towards, like, you're on this journey out of Islam. Why do you think you are the one that's on that journey and not your other siblings? Like, what set it apart, or what was it different for you that made you question Islam?
Simply because I decided to take a leap of faith.
A leap of faith away from faith?
A leap of faith away from faith. Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
Brilliant
A
way to
leap
put it.
from faith.
A leap from faith. Perfect. I'll just quickly brief you on an answer so that you can understand as cogently as possible.
That's a good name for a YouTube channel, by the way. Leap from
Leap
faith.
from faith. I might
Sorry
actually
to
make
interrupt
that
you.
on my YouTube channel. I might actually make that. You should check it
Yeah.
out. In all seriousness, the reason why is because, well, my leap from faith primarily was propagated because I've always wanted to think and learn. And one important realization I came down to, this was when I was walking home from school, was that if I were to investigate and learn, I must have a lot of grit, must have consideration for any fear that I may have. And the only thing I can do with this potent consideration is that I must be, quote unquote, fearless. I must take the jump, right? That's why I even introspected and I learned and I took the journey that I'm on now, because I simply took the leap. As the person, again, this is directed at the person watching this live stream, I simply took the gambit, is what I did. I took the chance. And turns out it went exactly the way I hoped it would, for me to discover something brilliant and unraveling. So I don't know why it was specifically me, but I know why I did it, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for
Mikha'il,
sharing.
thank you so much. Just before we let you go, where are your plans to publish your book? Is it like something you're envisioning self-publishing? Do you have a publisher?
I don't know. I mean, again, the book is like barely away from the middle chapter.
Oh, okay. So you're still in the process of writing it. Okay.
Still in the process of writing it. So it's gonna be done hopefully in the next 2 years, maybe. I hope.
Oh, this is a long-term project. Okay. I wish you the best of luck in writing it. People might not know, but before I started all this YouTube stuff, I'm a writer professionally, and I wrote a book myself. I couldn't get it published, and that's why I went into social media.
Do you still have it? I'd love to read it.
Somewhere, yeah, I can dig it up.
Yeah, you can send it on my Instagram, the one you haven't replied to yet.
It sounds, you got me there. Okay.
One more question, actually. So I've been doing some research on this new apologist. I think me and you actually spoke about her. I would love, I mean, of course, I know you're a pretty busy man, but
I remember which one you're referring to, yeah.
Yes, Cora the Time here, yeah. And the reason why I'm referencing her is because I think, I mean, of course, I think maybe I gave you the wrong chance in looking at her stuff because her Instagram page is quite condensed. But if you actually look at her YouTube, she has a lot of live streams are saved. So whenever you have the chance, I would hope you make a video, actually. If you could, per my request, please make a video. It would be lovely.
I'll look into
when
it
you
for
review
sure.
her stuff. Just basically review her stuff and, give a commentary. Because I don't believe anyone is talking about her. I feel like I'm the one who's doing it. Makes me feel a little bit left out.
Yeah, I appreciate the recommendation, and thank you again for coming on.
Yeah.
It's great to speak with you.
Thank you.
Other people have commented on this, but you have an amazing voice for a podcast, radio, you name it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Pleasure
Thank
to
you.
listen to you.
How kind
Thanks,
of all
Angel
of you.
Mikha'il.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Okay.
See you.
Take care, Mikha'il. All right. Thank you so much, Mikha'il. Okay. So we do have another caller ready to go. So this is one who says that they know you, Haram Doodles, by the name of ex-Muslim lady. Does that ring a bell?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let let me just double check that ex-Muslim lady. Are you there and ready to go?
Hi, lady.
You can just message in the private chat if you're ready to go. I think they did mention they have a class they have to get to in a little while, so hopefully there's still time.
I'm also not like checking YouTube and all the things, but I am seeing all the comments and just hi to everyone that's there. Hi, Cass. Hi, Aisha. Hi, Samir. Hi, all the people that are out there watching.
Yeah.
Thank you for being
Hey,
here.
everyone. And I also wanted to just thank Gurwalk for doing a great job moderating as always. Thank you so much. And Gurwalk is highlighting the link for people to call in. You can call in and, you can keep your camera turned off just like Mikha'il did. Feel free to do so. And then we can vet you in the chat. Okay. So EML, ex-Muslim lady, if you are there, we are ready for you. But if you are not, we can just do a couple of things while we wait and give you another chance, and then we'll move on to the next caller. So I'm just going to check what the poll is looking like right now. So there's a poll question for anyone who just tuned in the last couple of minutes in the live chat. If you've got your phone or computer, you can actually vote. So the question is, are you currently observing Ramadan in any way? You've got 4 options. Yes, as a believing Muslim. Yes, but as an ex-Muslim pretending. No. And the last option, you're not Muslim or ex-Muslim. So right now it's 38% leading the way with no, they're not currently observing Ramadan in any way. But then a third of people are practicing Ramadan, but they're just ex-Muslims pretending. And then we have 25% who are not Muslim or ex-Muslim, but tuning in. Yeah, you can still vote in that there. And there were a couple more recommendations from people in the comments about movies to watch if you're an ex-Muslim during Ramadan. So I totally should have recommended this. I don't know if this was the first mention of it, but this is the comment I saw. So there's Persepolis.
This is a great movie. One of my favorite films.
Tell us about it.
I would rather people watch it, but it's animated, it's black and white, and it features a little girl that's fighting for her rights in Iran. And so it's a really, really well-made movie. And yeah, I think seeing a lot of these movies too kind of helped me go, okay, like I think I can doodle. Not that bad.
Yeah, I really liked the movie too. I did not know that there was a TV show version, but that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know about the TV version.
Yeah. And I also wanted to highlight this recommendation. I don't know I never know how to say this person's name, at CHR. So at CHR, I recognize you. You've been commenting on my videos for a long time, and I love this recommendation from you. And it's
It's a great movie.
the movie Babel by, I think his first name is Alejandro Iñárritu. People might know this director more for The Revenant, which is the movie where Leonardo DiCaprio gets mauled by a bear. Feel good movie for anyone. But Babel is an interesting movie. So it's one of those movies where it's showing people's lives all across the world, and they're all dealing with like these big dilemmas or these very threatening situations, but all in different ways. And it's kind of a way to show that even though we're all different and we all have different lives, there's common elements between all of us as human beings. And I think that movie does that very, very beautifully. A few other movie recommendations. I don't know this movie, Not Without My Daughter. Maybe someone in the comments can tell us a little bit more about that one. And then 2 more recommendations. An Elephant Sitting Still. Also don't know that one. And Mulholland Drive. I do know that one. Yeah. I have to confess, I hate that movie, but I can see why people like it. So I'm not that blind in my hatred. Yeah. So
I just remembered the film that
have a recommendation.
The Four Lions.
Oh, that sounds.
I think it's a UK based, and it's about Muslims. But yeah, I will look up some more details. But it's a good one movie that I actually remembered. I was like,
Okay, great. Okay, 4 lines there. So you've got a whole list. Maybe I'll add the list to the video description at the end.
Do we have ex-Muslim lady ready?
I think so. Yeah. Let me just double check and make sure she's good to go. All right. We'll add her. Okay. Ex-Muslim lady, are you there? Ex-Muslim lady might not be there.
Might be on mute.
Might be on mute. Ex-Muslim lady,
Hey, can
are
you
you on
guys
mute?
hear me
Hey.
now?
Yes, we can hear you. There you are. How's it going?
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Awesome. Sammy, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all your work, and
Hi,
thank you
thanks.
for taking so much time to like connect with me as I started like navigating the ex-Muslim uh, area online. And just thank you so much for everything and your support. It
Yeah.
means the world to me.
Ah, thank you. Yeah, and thank you for sharing. I think it's always hard to share about yourself and be vulnerable, and just thank you for sharing a part of me or a part of you with me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and I will say one thing that I've noticed a lot is a lot of ex-Muslim content is geared towards people who are born Muslim, and of course that's totally, I mean, I absolutely support that, but um, I've been kind of sharing about myself on Instagram for, I want to say 9 months now, and I have had quite a few people who converted uh, reach out to me and then say, "Oh, I converted," and they thank me for like for showing that. And I converted when I was 23, and I left when I was 27. So
Okay.
there's a lot of shame there, and a lot more of like self-blame, I think. And it's different versus if you're like a vulnerable child and you um, are raised in this environment versus if you convert into it and then you realize what a mistake that was
Yeah.
and the
And I
amount of
think,
shame of like I did this to myself and
yeah.
um and just the burden of that is a lot to bear. So if
Yeah.
anyone converted and regrets it, feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to Sammy, and there's a lot of support out there for us.
Yeah. And I would say, I think that shame that you're speaking of, I think we feel it. Those of us that sort of grow up in an Islamic home and, kind of on that journey out of Islam, there is a lot of shame that I'll talk about myself. Like, I definitely felt that shame and blamed myself for feeling like I was manipulated and feeling like I did not get the whole truth, or that I was given sort of misinformation about Islam. And I think I I can relate to that in a way that, I think there's shame on like we all feel that. We all feel embarrassed. And I think we all feel really like just like what the fuck was wrong with me that I actually like believed in this. And so can totally relate to that feeling for sure.
Yeah, like just like from my
Yeah,
end, like one of
and
the things I'm
I
sorry to interrupt you.
one thing I realized as I was
Okay, go
deconstructing
ahead.
Islam was the amount of willful misinformation that is marketed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually had a really interesting conversation with a mutual follower, and he was talking about the clear Quran and how that is the most error-riddled Quran translation out there.
Mm,
And for some reason, that's like the gold standard for dawah, really. And I mean,
interesting.
for example, it says, that you made a doodle about this of like your wives are tilled for you, so approach them in
Mhm.
whatever way you please. And you're just like, we're not farmland.
Yeah.
Um, in the clear Quran, it says approach them consensually in whatever way you please. That's an addition. That's actually a complete
Yeah.
lie. It never says that in the Quran, like
Right.
anywhere. And that's just one example of many. But and I think we have to like let go of that shame of like we were told erroneous information and we
Yeah.
wanted to believe the best, so we did all these mental contortions to kind of make sense of it all.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Liam, you were going to say something earlier too?
Yeah, I was just gonna mention. I totally echo what Sammy was saying about like the shame. Yeah, I completely understand. And we have our own forms of shame as well. And something that I'm so embarrassed about to this day is like how homophobic I was, like the entire time I was Muslim. And not just homophobic in the way of being skittish around them, or avoiding them, but saying that they're disgusting, they're all these horrible things. And to then realize, oh, I just believed such horrible things about other people for no good reason beyond that's what I was told, was really eye-opening to just kind of realize how first of all how indoctrinated I was, but how easily that indoctrination made me hate other people who are harmless.
Yeah. And I think you sort of end up realizing that you can blame, you go, oh, this is where it's coming from. It's not me. I've been taught this, or I learned this. And then you go, okay, where is this idea coming from that like these people are horrible just because they like the same sex? And it's, you go back to the source and you go right back to Islam, and you go back to, and it's these ideas are unfortunately inside Islam and outside Islam, right? So it's like, it's not that Islam is uniquely homophobic. It's that Islam is also homophobic. It makes all of us homophobic as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
For you, in sort of spending those 4 years, ex-Muslim lady, if you don't mind me asking, were you fasting every year, like kind of very regularly, and practicing the faith very regularly?
I actually just made a video about this a little bit ago. So I did 3 Ramadans, because I converted in 2021. Actually, I think like a month after Ramadan ended. And I will say my first Ramadan was so horrible. It was kind of like late spring, early summer, so those really long days, just horrible. My second one was better. And my third Ramadan, which was 2025, I actually made the decision, like, I can't be Muslim anymore in Ramadan of 2025. So
Wow.
Ramadan Mubarak.
Yeah. And everyone's like, oh, Shaitan's locked up in Ramadan. But then when they say, oh, well, you left Ramadan because Shaitan whispered to you, and I'm like, y'all realize, like, there's a disconnect there.
You whispered to me.
Yeah. Maybe it was Allah. I guess Allah, Shaitan, I don't know. But yeah, I got quite a bit more religious in terms of like how I dressed. It was, maxi skirt, long sleeve shirt, and I didn't do full hijab, but I did like my underscarf or a really wide headband, and I would just pin my hair up for modesty. I was hitting my 5 a day. I did a round of dhikr on this hasbi after every salah I did at home. Yeah, it was because I didn't actually want to not be Muslim, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
And I just
it does
thought,
make
if I pray
sense.
more, it'll get better. If I get married, it'll be better. And I was engaged for a moment, but yeah, that ended spectacularly. But and I just kept doing this stuff like, oh, if I give more sadaqah, it'll get better. And I couldn't reconcile so much. And then I realized a lot of the promises that were made to Muslims, and this could be for born Muslims or converts. There's no like concrete basis for them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
So
ex-Muslim lady,
I actually decided one day, I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I was fasting, and I got some crackers and some tea around noon, and I had lunch.
You didn't jump right into the wine.
I actually,
Take a
Eased the way
shot.
into it. Yeah.
this was a really funny thing that you bring this up. So I made the decision when I was in high school, like I don't want to drink. Um,
Mm.
I've it's just something I've never liked the taste of alcohol, and I've never wanted to acquire it necessarily. So I never drank. So when Muslims are like, oh, these atheists, they're just getting drunk and drinking constantly, I was like, I've never, I mean, I've had wine when I was a kid
Yeah.
because I just took a sip out of my mom's glass and it was so gross. Um, I've tried taking one shot when I was in college and I smelled it and a little bit just got on my tongue and it was so gross. Um, so like, yeah, I mean, I don't drink now. I've never really drank.
No.
So then when they're like, oh, all atheists do is they just like get drunk and party, I'm like,
Some
again,
of
they're
us
making
do.
claims
Some of us
and
don't.
yeah, there's no basis for that claim. They're
Right.
literally just talking out of their booty.
You can say ass. That's okay.
I can,
Ass
oh,
is
no,
allowed.
sounds
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Okay, they're talking out their ass.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting because I also don't drink alcohol, like almost never. It's so rare, and I stopped drinking maybe 5 6 years ago, so long after I left Islam. And for like, there might be some Muslims who might think, oh well, that's because he's returning to
Yeah, somebody
the
just said, how can
Yeah.
Shaitan whisper in Ramadan? He's chained. Exactly. So,
Oh yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, but
so
like,
So
it's
it is Allah.
exactly. Um, and I mean, there's that Gnostic idea of like how the God of the Bible is really like a lower hell creature. And I don't know, reading a lot of that was just so interesting. And I was like, wait, so if the God of the Quran is the God of the Bible, and the God of the Bible is the God of the Old Testament, the God of the Old Testament is lower, like poor, the poorly formed, demon creature. What does that make Allah?
He was part of the same circle jerk as
Yeah, pretty much.
the rest.
wait, are we allowed to say circle jerk?
But
We are
I
now.
mean, of course, it's all like make believe, and it's not actually real. But
Right.
yeah,
Someone in the comments, Lilith, said sometimes you need to step out of your bubble to question your indoctrination. Once I met gay people in real life, only then I had realized they are people just like me. That's very true for me as well.
Mhm.
It's meeting other people and just being open to meeting other people, I think helps you humanize them, because you've been taught to kind of hate them or be disgusted by them or not interact with them or not be friends with them. And so I think actually meeting other people definitely is super helpful to step outside the bubble, because then you actually like you can kind of like look at the bubble from the outside in versus being on the inside of it and looking out.
Yeah, definitely.
But
And the thing is, like, one big thing for me was moving to Canada from the Middle East, and that's where I started meeting gay people. Like let's just say in my university, and there wouldn't have been those opportunities when I was living in the Middle
Yeah.
East. And that's not to say that there weren't any, but they're mostly in hiding, right? So you wouldn't like, there
right.
might be, it might be like a classmate, or like a, or just someone you walk by in the street or like in a restaurant or whatever, and you'd never
And I
know.
think that does bring up another good point of how, and I'm more acutely aware of how like how I was lied to in order to get me to feel more comfortable about converting. And I did ask about like, what about gay people? And the answer I got versus the real treatment and the real belief about them. Um, I just remember like I went to this one hutbah in June of 23,
Mm.
and the imam was talking about his child, and he said, "My daughter, she came out and she said she was a boy. That's disgusting. These public school teachers are indoctrinating, they're sexualizing them and they're making them question their gender. And I was just like, that's your child, you know, that is the soul that, at the time I believed Allah entrusted to you. And
Mm,
your vulnerable child telling you something in this, you know, state of extreme vulnerability. And I mean, that's hard to question your gender at any age, at any environment, but specifically if you're from dads and moms. I mean, come on.
yeah.
And he was telling everyone at the khutbah. And I was in the back and I'm like, that's your child.
Yeah.
Also, we're not supposed to publicize other people's trouble. We're not supposed to gossip. And here you are using your child, the baby that God gave you, to use as like material for
Yeah.
a hitba was
It's like shaming your own child in front of everybody, and yeah, it's sad.
and airing their business.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, maybe what I was told when I initially converted of, oh, we don't wish them harm. We don't wish gay or trans people harm. We just um, don't align with that. But we want them to be treated with respect. And I'm like, you are going after your child, man. I mean, that's
Mm,
and that was just a slap in the face of like, oh, I think I was lied to. And then I kept internalizing, well, I'm the problem. I need to change. I need to pray more, be more obedient.
yeah.
If I if I am if I submit more, it'll get better. And
Yeah.
it didn't.
Like how far down do I have to bow to,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
do I need to stick my head in the ground for Allah to like do something for me?
Yeah,
I mean, burying your head in the sand might help you.
it might. Yeah.
I'm just gonna live like an ostrich.
What do the two of you think of this question? Sam, if you can
Yeah,
see it.
but
Do a lot of Muslims intentionally lie, or do they present the good parts? So when you learn about the bad part, you are too deep to leave. I'm not sure that they're intentionally lying. I think if you're tasking yourself with selling something to somebody else, you're probably going to tell them about the great things and not the shady dark shit. that's wrong with it, right? Like if someone comes to sell you, I don't know, whatever they're selling, like jewelry, they're not going to tell you it's fake, or they're not going to, you know what I mean? They're going to be like, oh yeah, I made it, blah, blah. But then like you realize it's leaving like green marks on your skin.
mhm.
So I feel like that's sort of the way it's approached, is that it's sold like it's the best thing ever. But I think those bad parts are just sort of left behind. So but people don't focus on the bad parts and people focus on the good parts.
Yeah.
The little that there is.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at the chat real quick, and someone said, Quran is Muslim here. I'm sorry for all the trauma the Sunnis and Shiites caused you. Um, I actually considered myself like a Quranist for my last 6 months, and I only followed the Quran. And when I realized that that also was lacking, um, because the
Mm.
pedophilia is in the Quran, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's in the Quran.
Mm-hmm.
And you can reject hadith all you want, uh, but I mean the Quran is, if we say that the Quran is the gold standard of perfection, right? That means every piece
You
of
mean the old
perfection.
standard of perfection?
Yes.
Wordplay.
If the Quran is the old standard of perfection, this is the direct word of God, right? So the entirety of it is perfection. which means a small amount is perfection. So that verse about, if they haven't menstruated yet, you can divorce them. Or that verse
Your
about,
wives.
my favorite is
Yeah.
533. I'm a cross amputation verse fan. And I would be subjected to that doing what I do now, because here I am spreading mischief. I converted in and then I left
Mhm.
in order
Mhm.
to weaken the Ummah, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah, you have to agree with that. If you
These
are if you
scoffers.
consider yourself a Muslim and you would not support me being cross amputated at best
Yeah.
or killed at worst, um,
Yeah.
sorry to break it to you, but you're not actually Muslim.
Right. Right.
Yeah, because every part's perfect, but
Yeah.
I swear. Yeah.
Hi, Apostate Aladdin. Sorry, some lady. Just wanted to say hi to our friend here too. He just jumped in.
Yeah, hi, good to see you, Apostate Aladdin. I highly recommend you check out the live stream Apostate Aladdin did yesterday. It was really fascinating, but also kind of depressing, which is often the case with this
Oh yeah, I
topic.
like Apostate Aladdin's work. I am a fan as well. So hello. Um,
But yeah, no, thank you so much for sharing,
yeah.
ex-Muslim lady.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
for
you.
being
Yeah.
here and having a great conversation. I think, and the fact that you're on Instagram as a convert, I think more and the fact that people are
Ex-convert,
sharing their
ex-convert.
ex-convert. Just really glad that people are
Misinterpret.
reaching out to you and finding space to talk to you as well. And let me know if we can think of some doodle ideas that we can do together. So
Yeah, I have quite a few ideas for videos. So if anyone wants my opinion on one topic or another, hit me up. But yeah, thank you so much, Sammy and
yeah,
Segway Spirit and everyone for carving out a corner of the internet for us to kind of connect and um, not be so alone because
yeah,
going into Islam, I felt so alone. And then leaving, that guilt, that shame, again, it also isolates you.
yeah,
And, isolation is the cause of a lot of problems. So if we can find a community, I think that's really good for us.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
well,
you.
Yeah,
listen,
Thank
thank
you
you
so
so
I'm
much
much
for
for
gonna go
coming
being
start
here.
on.
pole dancing class because I gotta get strong and I gotta go shake my ass.
Strengthen that core.
No, I'm just gonna be shaking it. Okay.
All right. Enjoy. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank
Nice
you
Take
to
so
care,
much.
have
ex-Muslim
you.
Bye.
lady. Bye-bye.
See you.
Okay. All right. Okay, it's just us again. Yeah, just thank you again, ex-Muslim lady. And I wanted to mention one thing, especially that Apostate Aladdin is here. So I'm going to be posting a video very soon where Apostate Aladdin shares the leaving Islam story of an ex-Muslim convert. So someone who was not born into Islam, converted, and then left. So kind of like the one that you and I did, if you remember, like a while back. I really do think that the subject of people who convert and then leave is an important one that needs to be covered more uh, because of that shame. And in the case of this individual who shared his story with us to discuss, he actually became an imam and converted a lot of people to Islam. So he talks about the guilt he feels about that because that's another level, right? So you're not just feeling guilty for being homophobic or anything like that, or maybe raising your kids to be Muslim, but you know that you were this community figure and then you left, but then that even though you left, there's probably going to be all these people who didn't leave. So I really empathize with that individual. I hope that you can all check out that video once I post it. Apostate Aladdin had some really great things to say there. Yeah. And I also just wanted to say thank you to a couple super chats from earlier in the live stream. Thank you, King Cobra. Also, thank you for your great questions. And thank you, Arif, as well. Hope to see you next year. So, yeah, okay, everyone, you can still call in. we are going to wrap up in like maybe like 40 minutes or so. We're going to keep this like a 2-hour live stream. I don't have the endurance to do the 4-hour ones that Apostate Aladdin does. I got to be honest. Yeah, so we do have a few people in the queue, but I think we could squeeze in a couple more. All right, so next
keep
up,
them short and
we'll try to keep them short so we can squeeze in more. Yeah, so the link to call in is in the live chat, pinned in the live chat. So Alien, you are next. Alien, are you there? Just let us know in the private chat if you're ready, and then we can add you. Alien, are you there? Alien is there. Okay. Okay. Adding you in 3, 2, 1. All right. Alien, how's it going?
Hi. Yes.
Hi. Yes, we can hear you. Is there any chance you can raise your volume just a little bit, if possible?
Hold on.
Yeah, we can hear you, I think.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, Alien. How's it going?
It's good. I broke my fast around 2 hours ago or so I think it's okay. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. No worries. Let me see if I can raise your volume a little bit more on my end. Okay.
Look at Apostate Aladdin giving you tips. Such a nice friend.
Okay. Oh, he did say that. I was just thinking the same thing. See, great minds think alike. Okay. Alien, try speaking again.
I removed my headphones. Is that better or?
Hey.
Oh, way better. Way better. We can hear you loud and clear.
Yes.
No worries. So Alien, I have here that the reason you left Islam, and I hope that this is what you said and not one of our other callers. I apologize if I mixed them up. That you learned that the Quran and the Bible were similar and had slavery, but you also never felt like God was real.
Yeah, I think it was actually a TikTok that I saw, and they were comparing the Bible and Islam, but they were saying like Islam was good. Like they were showing examples where they have better things to say instead of the Bible. So, but then I went in the comments and people were saying that no, they're actually similar, and they do have like they both have terrible things, because they were saying like, oh, they have slavery or whatever. That's yeah.
They're terrible in different ways. Let's just say that.
Yeah. And like sorry,
It's okay.
Yeah, no
I
worries.
know, I'm sure there's a little bit of nerves there too, and it's totally fine.
yeah, I had to leave my house so people wouldn't get suspicious.
Okay, yeah. Make sure you're
Yeah.
safe when you're doing this. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and I told sorry.
Oh,
What
no,
did you
no,
say?
no. No worries. Yeah, I think I was going to mention the same thing you were going to mention. So you mentioned that you wanted to talk about being an ex-Muslim and wearing hijab.
Yeah. So, because I still have to wear it, and because of my family and stuff, and I never really had a problem with the hijab when I was Muslim, and I feel like a lot of people say that women only just want to take the hijab off and like be reckless or whatever, and they have no real reason to leave Islam. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but when I became an ex-Muslim later on, I was like, I feel trapped wearing this hijab, you know, and it wasn't because of like wanting to show my hair off, and it's just because I feel like I'm faking my identity, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You mean you didn't want to just get naked, right?
No.
Which is what we hear all the time.
Yeah. And
yeah, go ahead.
also, so because I'm in uni and I see like other people, other hijabis, and like I was secretly like judging them because they were, they were Muslims and they were acting like less Islamic than what I thought I was. So I was like, these these people are like, I don't know how to explain it, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I was judging them even though I was ex-Muslim because I felt, jealous, I guess. But then I realized that what I'm doing to them, other people are probably doing to me. Like they're also judging me because I'm still wearing a hijab. And I just feel like we judge women a lot, and
Hmm.
feel like we shouldn't assume that they are Muslim, even if they are wearing hijab, because you don't know what people are going through.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I feel like it makes me feel better when I go out and I see people and I'm like, maybe they're not, or maybe they are, but they don't have to be perfect just because they're having like this oppressive thing on them. Like we shouldn't judge them more than they already are being judged.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Agreed. And I think I remember that too. I just saw Apostate Aladdin's comment about being like so judgmental about hijabi women who don't wear it properly, or being very judgmental about women that just wore fitted clothes and wore a hijab, or wore, like any type of clothing. I think we all show up in so many different ways. And Alien, you're absolutely right. Like we start to like judge ourselves as we're judging other people. And also wondering what are people thinking about us too. And I think that's also the thing that keeps the purity culture alive in Islam is the constant policing of women. And I'm sure, having to wear a hijab, or even covering your head for Allah during prayers, even that, just the continuous ways that women and girls have to keep purity culture alive, and it's around us all the time. And I think one of those symptoms is that we tend to judge other women and girls as well. And I feel like ever since I left Islam, that slowly ended as well.
Yeah, I think
yeah,
the tough thing is that when you're, especially if you're in the Western world, if you're a Muslim woman wearing a hijab, first of all, you're a visible target for people who have like a violent or abusive hatred towards Muslims.
Yeah.
And so you have that, but also because you're so visible, you're seen as like almost like you're doing publicity for Islam, like you're presenting Islam, and so you have to be on your best behavior and do everything that a good Muslim woman is supposed to do. So you have both
Yeah.
those things at the same time.
yeah, you stand out, and because
Yeah.
there's only a few, you have to be like the best you can possibly be compared
Right.
to everyone else.
Yeah.
Like
It's like they
I
place the burden on us, as well as the policing, as well as like all the things. Like it's like I visualize it like being buried under these like layers of purity culture.
yeah,
Like they, how we hear like, oh yeah, Islam like stopped the practice of like burying baby girls alive. I'm like, fuck that, we're being buried alive right now. Like that didn't change. Nothing really changed. It's still the same shit, different century.
Yeah. Alien, is there anything you want to say before we let you go? We do have to go to a few other callers, unfortunately. Alien, you there? I think you're on mute.
yes. I'm not sure. I just
No
think
pressure.
that, yeah, I think everyone should like just keep that in the back of their mind, that not everyone who wears a hijab is Muslim, and not everyone like has to be perfect, because you don't know like what's happening and you don't know what they're going through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree completely.
It's a great
Yeah.
message.
Yeah, we shouldn't make assumptions. I think that's the key thing. And also, I think it's just like this overall thing of when you see a Muslim person in the street, even if you disagree with Islam or you think Islam is harmful, I think it's important to remember that at the end of the day, it's Muslims who are victims of Islam's teachings as well.
Yeah,
It's not just something that's directed towards the rest of the world. Muslims are affected by it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So thank you so much again, Alien. I hope to see you in future call-ins that I do. It was really great to hear from you, and I wish you the best this Ramadan. And I really do hope that
Thank
you don't
you.
have to wear the hijab for much
Yeah.
longer. But I totally get why you feel it's necessary to do so.
Yeah, I was very unlucky this year because for university I got a tutor who is also Muslim, so
Oh.
it's very hard to fast because I can't even drink outside of my house either because they can see me as well. Or eat.
Oh, that's just bad luck.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay, take care,
Yay.
Alien. Bye-bye.
An alien left us on too.
An alien, yeah.
Yeah.
Just joking.
Extraterrestrial apostasy. That's a mouthful. Okay, bye-bye, Alien. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have Unknown. Unknown, you can let us know if you're ready in the private chat as well. And I do have, after Unknown, Sophia. Okay, so Sophia, we're going to get to you next, but Unknown is ready. So Unknown says that their English isn't the best, so but don't worry, Unknown, we'll be understanding and patient.
Totally okay. Yeah.
Hello, Unknown.
Hi. Hi. Hello, Secular Spirit.
Hello.
Hello, Sammy. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I have just got some my religious relatives coming next year, so I have to be a bit quiet.
Yeah,
Because
please.
previously I was a
be
bit alone.
quiet. Okay.
Yeah. So I just feel that quite recently, what I've been seeing the things politically and socially. I'm kind of afraid more of moderate, non-violent Muslims compared to Taliban and ISIS. Like, I have got some empathy for Taliban and ISIS, and not that I consider them innocent. I mean, of course they are bad, but at the end of the day, I just feel that they're just following what religion is teaching them, okay? Like, they are just being the monsters, if you are actually confronting a bear or an animal, you cannot blame them that for killing you. That's what I consider them. On the other hand, I consider moderate, liberal, non-violent. They are the kind of like worst of them all because they kind of like create those kind of monsters. Okay.
Or they enable them. I think I know what you're saying.
Enabling the monsters.
Yeah, exactly. They enable it, and what first is that it's kind of like they enable them, that it's happening. Like, let's say if a liberal or secular person, quite interesting thing which I've seen in Pakistan even recently, like the moderate people who have never ever worn a hijab, they are also kind of like very siding with Islamism. Okay, like the shirt which Haram Doodle, what the kind of she's wearing, she's covering, and they are against that. I should not be blamed for what I'm wearing. I should not be, just because I'm not wearing a hijab, I should not be blamed for the suffering. This is wrong. This is disgusting. So, but at the end of the day, what annoys me is that if there's a person who's kind of more secular than them, that if someone wears sleeveless, then let's say Sammy has got the same attitude towards them. Like, believing that I don't believe to be harassed, but she does believe to be harassed. You see the problem kind of like there, because they kind of wanted to fight for the rights, but the solution they kind of want is within the religion. And what they do is they kind of like normalize Islamism, okay? That Islamism, and when it becomes extreme, only then it's kind of like a problem.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
is the kind of like I have seen. I'm sorry, if I'm kind of like beating around the bush and repeating the same thing again and again,
No, it's okay.
because I tell you what, I have never not seen. I've seen the extremism, but it was only like 1 or 2% like the kind of thing to be. So I used to be the kind of one that just because of some extreme people, you cannot blame the entire kind of community, you know? That's the kind of like thing. But the problem was that the community kind of enable them, community kind of protect them.
Mhm.
Okay. And another recently thing, like I'm originally like I've been from the Pakistan. So thing is that, see, previously Taliban and ISIS, they had this thing, if you come in my religion or if you do not, then we're just going to kill you and vice versa. That's okay. I mean, not okay, but I get it. They have got a sense of clarity. But what I kind of like despise is that people wanting to have some religious indoctrination, hating the secular and liberal values. Again, most of the people are not violent. Muslims are. I do not consider them violent people. They're the most sweetest people on the earth, what I have seen. But they want a solution within the religion, and because they do not get their version of Sharia, they actually move to the abroad and secular and liberal countries which they never wanted to be in the first place. And that is the kind of like hypocrisy which
Well,
annoys me the most, you know? Like,
no, let me tell you this. So, like, and this is something I've heard like my whole life, where there's these very very devout Muslims, and they say, oh, the Western world is morally corrupt and sinful, and then you find out that they have houses there, or they send their kids to university there, and with plans for those kids to eventually settle there. Why would you send your children to those places if you think they're, you know, the centers of sin and moral corruption? It's hypocrisy.
yeah, exactly. Well, now they kind of like justify, like, see, 20 years ago, it used to be like in Pakistan, I would say they were either like too extreme. There were one extremists who just want to bomb the places, and then there were kind of people who used to be very progressive. They had like very progressive values. Like if in 2003, 2002, if some person living in the UK or America says that Pakistanis, they are not following the religion, this is wrong, they should have Sharia and this vice versa, Pakistani is actually going to call them out. You're a moron, you're a hypocrite, and this kind of thing to be. But now it's become like, oh my God, he's such a good person. He's living in a society of infidel, corrupt people, and yet he's having his strong faith. You know, so that is the kind of thing. Because now what it has done, like especially social media, it has actually kind of like monetized those kind of opinions. So if you're like from like Pakistan, Bangladesh, so it's very easy to get a social media. All you have to do is just post a woman that, oh, she's offending Islam and this and that. So that's how you can get a lot of values. And again, I'm going around and around, that I absolutely despise moderate one, because they are actually also the victim, but again, it's a monster which they themselves created.
Yeah.
And when they get a chance, they actually kind of do that again. And another thing that I want to kind of like mention is that, see, recently I've seen that a lot of like ex-Muslim are kind of like siding with the kind of political right of Europe. Okay. Some of them, I don't know whether like paid, like Haris Sultan is like, I still kind of like the guy, but sometimes he goes like way too much. Okay. But I remember he had some debate with Apostate Aladdin where he kind of like agree. See, I kind of agree with the left. I want to with the left, but the problem is that this alliance and the way the left in Europe is kind of like allowing them, okay, like they call out that if a woman is being shamed, this is wrong. But if the Muslims do that, they just say, oh well, this is their culture, this is just value. They're not shaming, they're just protecting their culture.
Mm.
This allowing is kind of like pushing the people to the right. Like I don't want to associate, I'm sorry, with the right wing, but the problem is that the left is just like completely silent. They are just letting them flow.
Yeah, and I don't think that, I think, so a couple of things. I'm not sure it's that black and white, this whole situation. There's a lot of other things happening in it too. And I do agree that there are apologist Muslims who enable Islamists because they end up trying to protect Islam. And in that, and while trying to protect Islam, they're inadvertently they're basically protecting the extremists as well. And I think that's where I'm like, you don't have to go to that level. You do not have to support Islamists. You can support people, and people should have the right to practice their religion. But if we have a lot of people in our family and in our communities who, don't speak up about Islamists. They hide it and they go, well, it's not Islam, it's these people. Well, these people are all practicing some version of Islam. And that's the whole point. They've interpreted it.
There's
their
this
own
person
way.
in the comments as well, who I think is an example of what you're saying,
Yeah.
where they're saying extremists are also enemies of Islam. I believe they were brainwashed by the West to give Islam a bad name.
No, see, the problem is that I don't think there's anything wrong in the way you want to practice a religion. You're free to practice a religion, but I have got a problem with the theocratic societies, the societies based on religion.
Right.
Whether it's Christianity and this, especially Abrahamic religions. I don't know if I was consider myself ex-Muslim. Like I was born as a Muslim, but I kind of had some kind of doubts. And to give credit to my parents for they are kind of very devout. My mom is kind of devout, but she was kind of more ethically kind of Muslim. She was not like those Christians and those Hindus, just because they are not believer, they are your enemies. She was like, they're all God's people.
They're all humans. Yeah, they're all humans. Yeah.
They're all God's people. It's just that because we are Muslims who, it's we get a better version of heaven than them, something like this.
Yeah, I think we have an ego problem generally in the Muslim community, because we're taught that Islam is the last religion. The Prophet is the last prophet. It is the best, most perfect, most, right religion ever. And so I feel like Muslims grow up with a sense of a chip on their shoulder that, oh, we are special because we know the truth. There is absolutely this sort of very pompousness about us. I remember being very proud and pompous about being Muslim.
But then you have millions of Muslims all saying that about themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that there's a part of our where, yes, there are apologists enabling monsters, and the religion does enough to even the nicest people become monsters when it comes to issues like this, where it's about apostasy or blasphemy. And I think that's the scary thing is it's not just the apologists, the religion itself does the work for them too. So it's, we can't just blame the apologists for everything. They're stuck in the same system. They have not pulled themselves out of the system to look at it from the outside in to go, there's something really fucky going on here. We need to figure out what that is.
See, I'm sorry. See, this is where I kind of disagree with you. This is where I consider apologists far worse than ISIS and Taliban, because see, they have the kind of choice, okay? Their choice, the apologists, Islam's changes for their own convenience, okay? I grew up with
and they're still in a cult. They're still stuck in the cult. They haven't pulled themselves out, right? So they're going to think from that point of view is what I'm saying. Yeah.
So in a kind of like a bit of a moderate kind of like university where I got to kind of like be in there, it used to be kind of like very chill. Like even in the holy months of Ramadan, the cafe was like people were there, they were having, nobody kind of cared. And this is actually like in 2007, this kind of like a thing to be 2008, 2007. But now it has kind of like changed. Now there is some kind of issue, especially with the people kind out of nowhere kind of like making phoning and shaming you and uploading on the social media and this kind of thing to be. But coming back to the apologist thing, why I don't have any kind of like I have empathy for Taliban and ISIS. I have empathy for those who blow themselves up. Not sympathy, but empathy, because they have been indoctrinated.
Sure.
But why I absolutely get disgusted with apologists, because their version of Islam changes with their own convenience. Okay.
So can I like
Sure.
maybe I can like paraphrase what you're saying, Unknown, because I think I can see where you're coming from. So it's almost like at least Taliban and ISIS are being simple, direct, and honest about what they're believing and what
they say it and do it like it
they
is.
say it
Yeah.
and do it like it
Yeah.
is, so you know what the problem is. But then you have these more, I would use the word like nebulous moderate Muslims who say one thing but do another. Like they might publicly say that they're accepting of LGBTQ people, but then they might behave differently or
Yeah,
secretly
with their own kids.
or
Yeah.
with their, especially that's a great point.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like I kind of gave the example of Sami, what she's wearing. Like she's against the forcing of hijab and this kind of thing to be, they should not be harassed. But let's say if someone wears a sleeveless or swimwear someone is wearing, then she has got the same attitude towards them, that she should be forced and this kind of thing. This is disgusting. That is a kind of problem. Because what I see is like people, what happens is the change in a sense that in 20s they are very liberal kind of people, non-religious. A lot of like, if you're a male, you can have a girlfriend and this kind of thing to be. It's pretty much okay.
Yeah,
But then
you guys have a lot of privilege.
Yeah. But then as you get married, your testosterone gets kind of low. Then you kind of like become more religious. Then you kind of despise every woman. See, in your teenage, you want to date some like some Hollywood or Bollywood kind of a model and this kind of thing to be. But now in your 30s, you're married. Now you hit every woman. Every woman which makes you feel like, oh, you are kind of attracted to them, this kind of thing. Because again, I kind of consider myself a bit lucky because I had a very diverse set of people. You know, I had like Shia or Hindu, Christian, and all kind of through the workplace, and the kind of work was a bit artistic based. So that was also a bit kind of liberal. But then I've seen the people, like say an actress, very chilled out, no issue. They practice religion, but when the career is kind of like decline and this kind of thing to be, they suddenly have got an enlightenment. Okay.
Yeah.
So now
and I
they're
think
kind
people end up drawing boundaries around themselves and how they practice religion. I mean, I think we all saw that growing up. We all practiced it in various different ways.
I did it myself. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I had. Like, I'm sorry. Used to have a very stupid bias. Like, I consider like if there is a lesbian LGBTQ, that's okay. But if they're a gay, then you. That's the kind of like stupid biases I have. This, you know.
But
yes,
I was just gonna say thank you for sharing. We have like only about 10-12 minutes left, so
we do have
a few more people.
2 more callers in the queue.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Unknown. I appreciate hearing from you.
Just one thing I would like to say. I would like to say a movie. There's a movie like 2 movies like there's Oh My God, which mentioned, but there's also another movie like The Seventh Seal. It's a Swedish movie.
The one from the 50s.
And
I always blank on the name of the director, but I know which one you're talking about.
It's Henry Gibson.
Hold on, let me see.
And there's one author I would like to. I have not kind of like read it completely because he's very philosophical, but he has this. There's a documentary based on him. His name is Soren Kierkegaard.
Oh yeah,
Hello?
Soren Kierkegaard. Yeah.
Yeah, he is like one of my favorites, you know, because I kind of like resonated the way he questioned the religion and all this kind of thing to be. So I really like if someone kind of like check out the documentary. Anyway, I'm sorry I took too much time. Thank
Oh
you.
no worries
Thank
at all,
you.
Unknown. It was a pleasure hearing from you. So
Yeah.
the movie Unknown was recommending is The Seventh Seal, which is a movie about a knight who plays chess with death, and I think it's an Ingmar Bergman movie. I saw it ages ago. I really liked it. So yeah, I love that recommendation. And Kierkegaard is also very interesting. So yeah, we do have time for 2 more callers. So some people have been mentioning something in the news. Apparently, the supreme
Yeah.
leader of Iran has reportedly been killed. So we might talk. I don't know if you want to talk about that. We might talk about it a little bit at the end. Our thoughts on that. But let's just talk to our callers first. Sophia, are you there? Sorry, you've been waiting for a while, Sophia. Let me just double check if you're still here. Okay, we'll give Sophia a chance. Give her some time to join. But yeah, I also wanted to just address this comment, and I'll just remove unknown here. Okay, I wanted to also address this comment from, I believe it's a Muslim who's in the live chat. And this was to my point about saying that Muslims who are very devout and say horrible things about the Western world, it's a den of sin, moral corruption, it's where Shaitan resides. But then they send their kids there and try to move there. So I do think they make one good point that, you know, from the effects of colonization, Muslim world countries have become weaker and the West took, I think, all the knowledge is what they're trying to say. So I see the point there, but I'm talking here about, you know, this is your children, and if you really think such horrible things about the Western world, wouldn't you want them near you and not, you know, have that worst case scenario of them ending up like me, a heathen apostate who's cavorting and doing Allah knows what every day,
Living among
all
the
day.
heathens.
Yeah. So that's kind of my point there. Okay, I think Sophia is ready. Sophia, okay, I'm going to add you in 3, 2, 1.
Hello?
Sophia. Hello, Sophia.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear y'all.
Hi, Sophia. How's it going?
Doing good. How are you?
All good. We're really happy that we got a whole bunch of callers with like a wide diversity of views, and that was the goal of this live stream. So really happy that happened. And yeah, I do have some notes from my moderator who asked you a few questions. So you wanted to talk about your journey in and out of Islam and how you were turned off from it being a queer autistic woman. So please do share.
Yeah, so I believe I called into your live stream like last year, so you might be familiar with me.
Oh, I think I'm sorry. Like I have a hazy memory, so I apologize if I don't remember.
No, you're good. But basically, it was my freshman year of college was when I converted to Islam. Because yeah, I mean, I took like an intro to Islam class at my school, and I found it interesting. And then I went to the mosque and I got involved with like all the sisters groups, and you know, everyone was being so kind to me and welcoming. And I think it was like the combination of that and like empathy for like the Palestinian resistance. And like I mean, like you might be familiar with like these kinds of talking points, but like that, and also just like where being autistic comes in, like uh that makes me very like, I don't know, like I need structure, I need routine in my life to be able to actually function. And Islam provided like kind of that structure, like, okay, you're praying 5 times a day. Okay, here are these rules. And I wasn't familiar with like all of the rules, clearly. But yeah, no, I converted during Ramadan of 2024, so almost 2 years ago. Crazy. But yeah, now I'm a junior in college, and I left like shortly after joining Islam. And yeah, I mean, I basically left because, like, yeah, so many reasons, but the main ones just being like, all the contradictions that I read about, and like, I don't know, just things that I would have to reconcile. Like, oh, I'd have to reconcile that Muhammad married Aisha when she was 6 years old. And I don't know, the apologist would say, oh, well, but she was 18 actually. I'm like, okay, but even if that was true, that's still creepy. Like, I'm just saying, Muhammad walked so that Epstein could run. Like, I just, it, that's like, that's effed up, seriously. But, yeah, that and just like, yeah, all the unnecessary, all the crazy rules. Like, it's like I could get on board with no alcohol, no pork, no clubbing, I guess. I'm like, okay, like I don't really do all that anyways, no drugs. It's like whatever, like I can do that. That's fine. But then you get into, no music and no drawing and no like, pictures of other people in your house because apparently that's idol worship. Like it's like have you seen that tweet that's like I think the original tweet was something like, nobody talks about how hard it is, how hard Halloween costumes are for people with ADHD. And then the reply is like, oh my God, you people literally can't do anything. And that was like my experience in Islam. I was like, oh my God, like y'all people cannot do anything. Like, I swear to God, like this is insane. Um, and yeah, I was like, why would a god like, yeah, why would this like all-powerful God be so butthurt by me like, listening to Taylor Swift, or, you know, having a picture of my grandmother who just passed away in my house. Like, I promise I'm not worshiping my grandmother. Like, I don't know. It just felt so weird to me. And obviously the blatant sexism, verse 434, the four wives thing. I'm like, like, and when I realized all the mental gymnastics I was doing to justify it, I was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm like, what are you even talking about? Like, this
Yeah.
girl, like, what you're talking out of your ass right now, trying to justify like why it doesn't actually say to beat your wife, or like, oh, but it just
Mm,
says lightly. And like this is like my main quarrel with like the whole, oh, the Quran has never been changed, it's been preserved for thousands of years. Actually, no, it hasn't. It has been changed, because there are so many freaking
right.
translations that you can't
Right.
even
And
agree.
reinterpretations, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Like,
Um,
subhanallah is the truth. Like, okay. Sure, Dan.
so Sophia, I have a question for you. So you converted to Islam for about a year, let's say, and you mentioned that it provided you structure, and having autism, that was helpful for you. Where did you go after, sort of, once you realized the contradictions and you were like, okay, I can't believe in this anymore? How did you find that structure again for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like too difficult. Like, I never like fully got into it. Like, I don't think there was ever a single day where I prayed all five prayers. I was like, if I pray at least two a day, that's good, because, I'm trying my best. I'm still learning all of that. And
Mm,
all the girls around me were like, you know what? It's fine. You're still learning. You're just getting into it, so it's fine to take it slow. But yeah, I guess after I left, I kind of figured out a way to get back to like my old life and not feeling guilty about it, and to find
mhm.
structure and like doing other things by just doing what I need to do, studying for classes, um, going to the gym, hanging out with friends. Like, I can work my way around it, I guess. And
Yeah.
ironically enough, like, I had a bigger crisis when my structure was interrupted after my ex broke up with me, like, rather than leaving Islam. Because
Mm,
it was, I don't know, like I wasn't deep enough in Islam, but I was deep into my ex. No pun intended, I promise. Oh my God. That's a Michael Scott joke for sure. Oh
That was
my God.
great.
Oh, that's one for the archives. But anyway, Jesus Christ. But oh my God. Okay, but anyway, the point being, I was deeply in love with my ex. I don't even want to say in love, it was more like limerence, but I was really hyper fixated on him. Being an autistic person, that became my new routine.
Mm,
But you know, maybe some Muslims will use that as proof, like, see, you left Islam and then you got your heart broken by some
yeah.
awful dude. It's, but in Islam we don't allow dating, so even so if
Yeah.
you were still Muslim that wouldn't have happened. But I'm honestly glad that that happens, because now I know, like, what I like and what I don't like, and how I, and like the disrespect that I won't tolerate from any other potential partner. Like, I
Mm,
wouldn't know that if I just stuck to the Islamic rules of no dating and like, that's bad, don't do it.
yeah.
So, as much as I spent weeks upon weeks just like sobbing over this man who didn't even bother to get me flowers on Valentine's Day, like, it's, and that's the least of his offenses, by the way. But it's, yeah, I mean, it feels liberating to be able to make my own choices. And even if those choices end up being bad, it's like, hey, I learned a lesson.
Yeah.
I'm young. I
Yeah.
need to be able to learn lessons from experiences without like this belief system tying me down.
Yeah.
I
And you
think that's
learn
a
so much
very
about yourself.
positive attitude. Yeah, yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
because you learn so much about yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All those experiences kind of, every single experience leads you to learn a little bit more about who you are. And so I'm glad that you even had that experience and you came out of it a different person potentially, right? You were like, "Yep, those are the verses I don't want in my life."
Yeah, Sophia, I have a
Thank
question for
you.
you.
Mhm.
It's just like one that came to mind. And it's something that I thought about in terms of why some people, like religion in their lives. Did you find it appealing that Islam had so many rules and commands on what to do and not do, and had that, set routine of the 5 prayers a day and all that? Is that something that appealed to you?
Oh, definitely.
Mm.
Of course I wasn't aware of like all of the other rules, beyond the tip of the iceberg. But, on the surface, praying 5 times a day, all of that stuff, I was like, okay, I can get on board with that. I'm like, I like the idea of 5 times a day getting to, just have some peace and mindfulness and getting to just like shut out the world for a while and, come back to God or whatever. And,
Mhm.
the 5 prayers a day is good in theory. It's good in theory until I realized that it freaking sucks, because first of all, as someone who doesn't speak a lick of Arabic, I was expected to learn all of the 5 prayers in Arabic and pray in Arabic. Otherwise, apparently God just like turns his ears off and like
Yeah.
pretends that he doesn't hear you if you're praying in any other language, like petty ass God. Like I
I feel you on that.
yeah. And yeah, other than that, it's just like, yeah, the routine of it is, I mean, of course I liked it at first, but I was like, okay, so what do you mean if I fart? I have to go make wudu again, but I'm not even
Oh, don't remind me. I forgot about that.
but I'm not even cleaning the area where I farted out of. So what am I cleaning exactly? And like, I don't understand. Like, is a fart like an air horn to God? Like, nope, start over. 3 strikes,
There's
you're
some
out.
relationship to like the devil and shaitan, and yeah, there's a couple of these. That was a very interesting topic for me too. Like farting. It's
Yeah.
just air. It's just air out the other side. Who cares?
Yeah, it's just air out of our bodies. It's beautiful. Okay. Oh my
Oh,
God.
and then there's all the
Uh,
stuff that has to do with, periods and all that, and like how,
yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes.
I was told that that was God being merciful by, having us not pray or fast while we're on our periods. But actually, it's just because
Agreed.
whoever wrote the Quran just like really hates women, and they view periods as filthy. And if you touch the
Right.
Quran while you're on your period, that's like a big no-no. Even though
Mhm.
I'm not like smearing my period blood on the pages of the Quran or anything. I'm just touching it. Like it's not even
Like, I'm
it's
not
not
using the tampon as a bookmark, please. Like, nothing is gonna happen.
Oh
That's a good
my
one.
God. Like, oh,
Oh, thank you,
like
Sophia. Thank you so much for sharing. Just it's always interesting to hear and sort of just such unique perspectives and such unique journeys that we've all had into and out of Islam, whether we were born into it or whether we converted into it. But thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, Sophia, I just wanted to thank you for calling again. And also, I just wanted to say, like, and this to like anyone watching who maybe converted and left and, looks back on it as like a negative experience. I think you have the best attitude about it. And I can really feel that you've taken it as a learning experience that you can grow from. And I think that's the best thing
Yeah,
that anyone can do. So I'm
for
glad you've
sure.
done that.
thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for the laughs.
Yeah, that
Of
too.
course.
Yeah. Okay. Take care, Sophia, and I hope to see you again next year or talk to you next year. Yeah.
All right. Thank
See
you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. So yeah, we do have one final caller, but I just wanted to kind of expand on your well, I'm gonna adjust my head because I'm getting a whole direct ray of sunlight on me. The light of God is shining on me right now. So to expand on your exclusive club analogy, the thing with the routine and all these rules that you're supposed to remember, I think that's part of the reason for it. Like, why do you have to have like a prayer when you go to the bathroom, and a prayer when you
Yeah.
enter through a door, all that kind of stuff? It's it's this club's way of keeping Islam in your mind as part of your life at all times. It
Yep.
keeps you hooked. The 5 prayers a day, going to the mosque every Friday, and ideally you're going to the mosque every day, and having all of these celebrations and all these like mini
Right.
prayers, and you're supposed to say a little prayer before you eat. That way
Right.
you never leave the club because it's just a fused part of your life.
Yeah. Even just, I saw someone's comment like, is it like the silent farts or the loud ones that break your wudu? And it's like, even that, even when you silently farted, when no one heard it, but you knew you farted, your next thought would be, oh shit, I think I
Allah
my wudu.
knows.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Allah
And so,
knows.
so, that meal would have been yummy, but just the fact that you released that
Yeah.
little teeny tiny fart, it's a very silent one, not even deadly. You still think about it though.
Exactly, yeah. Okay, we're gonna do our final call. Velvet Gold, you've been waiting since the very beginning. You're making me laugh now.
Oh, sorry.
Velvet Gold, are you ready? Last but not least, just let us know in the private chat if you're ready to go. All right, Velvet Gold is ready. Love that name, by the way. All right. Hi, Velvet Gold. How's it going?
Hello,
Ah.
hello. We meet again a year later.
A year later. Thank you so much for your patience, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, as I said, I was just happy to be here to listen to everyone. It is so awesome that I get all these thoughts for a whole year, and then others come and reaffirm that. I'm like, oh, good, I'm not alone.
There you go. And Velvet Gold, I remember you. I remember you very well.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
so
yeah.
happy. I mean, we have kind of sort of kept in touch in the comments section over the year every so often. But yeah, thank you so much. It's also nice to hear a fellow Torontonian or Ontarian or whatever. Yeah, you're
Ontarian,
in
yeah,
Ontario.
yeah.
Yeah. And hi, Sammy. I'm so happy
Hi.
to talk to you as well for the first time.
Yeah.
basically, so I'll just jump right into it because I know you've been talking to a lot of people. My social battery usually dies after 2 people, but congrats to you guys. So yeah, I'm this is my second Ramadan pretending to fast. Fortunately, I live on my own, and then I visit my mom for a few days every other week. So that's the time I'm actually pretending. The rest of the time I'm not. But yeah, so yeah, it's been an experience. To the the first couple of days as well. It's been like, oh my God, I'm eating during daytime. Oh right, I don't believe anymore. Yes, that's a great reminder. And then I've been reflecting as to how I arrived, how I got here, and I realized it took me 2 years of um, questioning, not questioning, more so having this anger against this God whose existence hasn't been proven. I used to have this whole sheet of about 20 questions. I limited myself to 20. I don't know why. 20 questions I wanted to ask him after, like on the day of judgment. I wanted to ask him, why did you let domestic violence happen? Why did you let an 8-year-old in the middle of a heteronormative family realized he was gay? Why did you stigmatize all kinds of art that has to do with music, painting, dancing, especially for men, but also more so for women, but yeah, also for men, and then put all of those proclivities and those talents in a person and give them the urge to fight you? Like, you bring all of these things and you want us to fight you, and you consistently say that you're the most powerful and that we can never win against you? Why do you call us ashraful makhluqat, and yet we are the most violent and the most damaging species on this planet? Why do you think that we shouldn't believe in flying and speaking monkeys from Hinduism, but we should totally believe that there used to be a winged horse that took Muhammad from Earth to seventh heaven within a matter of a couple of seconds or less? On one hand, you say that, Adam's fate was sealed, but on the other side, you're also testing him to see if his fate was sealed. Like, this manufacturer isn't making any sense. Like, and like, yeah, a few weeks ago before Ramadan began, I summoned all my courage and I spoke to my mom and I said, don't you think that God is that one criminal whose lawyers have been fighting his fight at least for the last 1447 years, and no one's been able to completely absolve him or completely blame him, and yet everybody just believes that he is, like, where do you?
And he's like the firm's one client because they're so busy with all the cases that he's got going.
Exactly. How many million Muslims are there? And we're so hell-bent upon defending him. And then he also says that I'm also the God of the Christian. Well, okay. So you impregnated a teenager and gave her the pain of a lifetime. Great. And then you also say that Bani Israel is your favorite ummah, but also Muslims. Where do you draw the line? So I spoke to one of my other friends, and I said, what do you call a person who goes to one person one day and says that you are the most beloved to me, and then a few days later goes up to a completely different person and says nobody else matters except you, and then goes to a completely different set of person and says that nobody else matters except you? What do you call them? The response was a slut. I'm like, oh, interesting, isn't it? And we have 3 books. Anyways,
just to extend what you were saying, and also to build on your analogy, Sammy, this is an exclusive club that claims that you are born a member, and that you have the innate desire to be a member, and you just have to access it. Like, what a genius idea!
Yeah.
Club Momanoon.
which is crazy because it requires, this club also, like other clubs, requires the exact same thing. As Yasir Qadhi said, first, just believe, and then you look for answers. Oh, you mean confirmation bias? Sweet. Love it.
Right.
That's like the seventh pillar or something of Islam. We've like lost track. But yeah, so it's like that that consistent, and then I think Unknown was mentioning about the liberal Muslims who are they say they have like a liberals, quote unquote liberal stance, but then no, you can't tell me that music is haram and then be listening to all kinds of music and decide that at the age of 45 or something you're going to swear off of it. No, you've already done it. You've already done the haram thing. I also remember I used to, like, when I was much, much younger, like in my teens, I would hear that, a murderer, a robber, or somebody who beats his spouse, or et cetera, they'll all be forgiven, but not a gay man. Like, great. And
who's creating these rules?
yeah, like, where are you? Like, oh, so if and then Indian literature, Indian and Pakistani literature is full of these Muslim clerics who indulged in pederasty, and but it's okay because because that was the time, and then later on in life they went down the straight and narrow. Yeah, when the sex drive just plummeted into hell.
Oh,
Sure. So it's like it's so crazy, and then I have to talk about this. This is going to be so funny. This is going to be so interesting and so entertaining. I promise. I was talking to another gay Muslim last year or something, and I told him I no longer identify as Muslim, and he was so upset, and he was like, why did you have to do that? You can continue to be gay and still no longer be but and still be Muslim. It's fine. Why did you have to let go? I'm like, you understand how completely against the faith being gay is, right? Like, you understand. Like, oh, sorry, I wasn't listening to you. I was looking at this video of these two guys. I'm like, oh wow, like, what is wrong with you? How are you able to switch between two topics? Is that how you straddle your sexuality and Islam? That's so interesting, isn't it? As long as you're a man who is capable of code switching, yes, you're good in Muslim books. And the rest of the time when I was giving him reasons and I was trying to reason through to him, he was like, dude, I'm so bored. I was just looking at porn the entire time. I didn't listen to a word you said. I'm like, great, thanks.
Whoa.
I'm
Wow.
like, this is the
Wait, and this is your friend?
No, this was a guy I met on. Oh, I wish he was. He would no longer be my friend. I'd be like, listen, you're an idiot. You can't listen. You can't communicate. I don't think you even need me for this communication. Just have this conversation by yourself.
By yourself, yeah. Oh wow, yeah.
It's like,
I feel a lot of empathy for those kinds of Muslims who identify as gay as well, because they're kind of caught in this position where they don't want to lose their faith and maybe their family, but they also don't want to give up their identity. Like, so, like, it's really a difficult position, but as you must have pointed out, like, there's just no way to sustain both things in a coherent
there
way.
isn't when every single, at least in 20, I'm sure, as for being from Ontario, you'll remember this, Alim, that back in 2017, 2018 era, there was this LGBTQ panic in the mosques. There would be at least one, I don't know, no, of course you wouldn't have gone to the mosque, but I used to go to the mosque at that time. And the khatib would mention transphobia or something transphobic or something LGBTQ phobic in one of the sermons, and I'd be like, oh my God, this is being created. This is a fear that's being created politically, and we're going down a very, very dark path after this, and we are in hell right now in Ontario, thanks to that. But it's like, how do you? Oh, and then there are two stances to it. One is of absolute hatred and absolute revulsion against the LGBTQ people. And
Yeah.
the other is, oh, we need to pity them. We need to sympathize with them that they're going through this struggle. And we should tell them, as long as they don't act on their urges, wow, dude, can
That's
you?
the part, yeah. As long as they don't act on their
Yeah.
urges, that's where you see what the problem is.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
if we don't act on our urges, there are a lot of kids who will, a lot of kids, I say a lot of kids, a lot of teenagers who will then, just in order to channel their sexual energy, will get into one of these heterosexual marriages and then destroy about so many lives because of it, because they will continue down their path. And so it's absolutely you know, it's such a dangerous attitude. And I was like, a friend of mine was like, yeah, they should dedicate themselves to the mosques. I'm like, no. There's at least a 40% chance that they will be molested over there too.
Oh,
Gosh. The other I was gonna say too, it's really one thing that I found really bizarre as I was deconstructing Islam was how we are told that our social identity of being Muslim takes precedence over all other identities, including our biological ones. Right. And so a biological identity like asexual orientation or gender or age or any of the biological identities that we cannot change about ourselves, like the color of our skin, our geographical locations, where we came from. But apparently the social identity of Islam takes precedence and priority over everything. And so then you end up in these situations which are really just sad and unfortunate, that you're being told your identity as a gay person means nothing because you have to, bow down to this other thing that's telling you cannot be gay and you cannot live as that person that you actually are. And so I think that was that was something that I like slowly over time. I was like, wow, it's like you basically wear this layer of social identity and everything else doesn't matter.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you
It comes
hit
number
the-
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You hit the nail on the head so well. It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you can feel all this empathy and sympathy and want and feel the love for this other person, but at the end of the day, you're a Muslim, so nothing else matters except this Muslim identity. But you need to be compassionate and empathetic. I'm like, no, pick a lane. Either completely negate all of my humanity, or just tell me yes, and but don't negate my humanity, because that's what I am at the end of the day. I'm a human being. You ask me not to get into you ask me not to pursue music. You might as well ask me to stop breathing. You ask me not to fall in love with someone that I actually have feelings for, and then you might as well tell me to stop loving in general. And by the way, when I am not doing this, I'm not distancing myself from Islam because I want to sin 24/7. You need to take a look at my life. Most of the time I'm at home in my bedroom, sitting in next to my bed watching YouTube. I have the most boring life. You need to understand that. I do not drink. I do not eat pork. I've been to a handful of LGBTQ gatherings, and no, we're not having drug fueled orgies in there. No, we're just talking about the most boring stuff you would never be able to stay awake through.
And it's so interesting, the catastrophizing that even happens in those situations, right? That like you are taught to think of the worst, and usually it's around sex. So it always, like, everything, I feel like everything boils down to whatever's in our underwears. Like,
Yeah.
all these rules, all these controls, and it's unfortunate that the only thought they have is apparently we are the worst of the worst kind if we are no longer practicing Islam, and apparently we have no morals. Like, morals only exist with Islam. You lose Islam, you lose all morality. And meanwhile, we're just really nice people, just living life, surviving and thriving wherever we are.
Yeah.
And
I
my
know
hope is my hope is that when people watch this and they hear from people like you, Velvet Gold, is that they see the reality of things and not just the stereotypes. And I really hope that this comes out to as many people as possible because of that, because I think I'm just so happy for you, Velvet Gold, and that you've managed to find this peace in your life, and getting out of that, unfortunately, that cognitive dissonance that gay Muslim friends of yours had. So
Mhm. Thank you so much. And
it's such a weird muscle to flex over time and build, of understanding that more than one thing can be true at once. And I think that's something that the Muslim gay friend is probably having a really hard time doing. I also just wanted to shout out this one comment someone made, Milo the Yorkie, that I promise you the next step after taking off the hijab isn't work.
Go to liberation. That's when you know you're liberated.
Hey, wear whatever you want. If your next step is wearing a bikini, all power to you.
Exactly.
Cheese Tax says it well. They prefer you be a horrible Muslim than you leaving the faith.
Totally.
Yeah, be the worst. I think there was a khutbah about this as well. Like, you can be the most heinous of human beings, but as long as you're a practicing Muslim, you're guaranteed Jannah. But you could be the most virtuous of human beings and not be in Islam, and you'll be bound to hellfire.
You're condemned.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna say this one last thing, because I know it's Alim, you have to go. You have to wrap up. One of the things that I really, really value over anyone else or anything else is my mother. And the reason why I say that is because in the Quran and in the Hadith, there's a claim that Allah holds the love within Him of about 70 mothers. My mother would not, when I came out to my mother, she did not even once think about wanting to punish me. Her first thing was, how long have you known this? And I told her, since I was 8. And she said, no one should ever have to bear the burden bear such a burden for such a long time in his life. No one. That just sent tears down my eyes. She was crying. I was crying. We were both crying. Anyways, but at the end, a couple of years later, it took me a couple of years to realize, this God that claims to have the love of 70 mothers will condemn you for an infinity, will burn you for an infinity for a finite crime, quote unquote crime. But your own mother, my mother, not only was she immediately understanding, accepting, despite, she says that she has had very limited education, but yeah, she was able to do that. But she defends me to this day for the last, I don't know how many years she's been defending me against.
It's clear that your mom is not one of the 70.
Yeah.
Oh God. She's someone much higher than those 70 people, man. Honestly, I lucked out with the mother that I have, because for the last 10 years she's been fighting our extended family left, right, and center, defending me. Anytime anyone asks, why isn't he married yet? Well, he'll get married when when he's ready. Kind of thing.
There's good people out there, even among Muslim people.
Even among Muslims,
there are.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you so much, Velvet Gold.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you came on again, and you've been a great final guest.
Thank you.
I'll let you go, and I hope to see you sooner than next year in one of my call-ins.
All right.
And yeah, take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. You too. Bye.
All right, Sammy, we did it. We did it.
Wow.
Thank
2.5
you.
hours.
Yeah, 2.5 hours. Thank you for everyone who called in. I really appreciate it. You can support the work that we do by shopping in Haram Doodles store to get shirts like ours. And the link is in the video description below. And you can support my work on Patreon or PayPal. I also wanted to just quickly thank all my Patreon supporters. You can see your names down there, and you can join as well. But if you want to support my channel another way, you can just like this video, share it with people you think might benefit from it, and please do subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. You can check out my previous call-ins from previous years in the video description as well, and you can also share your story at xmuslim.me, which is in the video description too. Any last words, Sammy, before we let you go?
No, this was actually a lot of fun. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
inviting
it was.
me.
I'm so
And
glad you did this with me. I'm really
yeah,
happy to have the company, and it was just great to hear your thoughts
same.
on a lot of these stories that were shared today.
Yeah. No, and thank you to everyone that joined. Thank you for all the callers. Just appreciate you being here, and I appreciate that we have a global community. We're all over the place. We are all sorts of different kinds of people with all sorts of experiences and circumstances, and it's really nice to have these spaces to be able to talk to each other and learn from each other. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, people have been talking about how it seems like there's been reports that the supreme leader of Iran, I think his name's Khamenei, has been killed. I took a look while we were just on the calls. Doesn't seem to be fully confirmed yet, but Israel is claiming it. So not much to talk about between us, unfortunately, because we got to go. But yeah, this is big news for Iran if it has happened, and I just hope that it doesn't lead to a lot of violence and destabilization. That's I don't think anyone wants that.
Yeah, always the people that get stuck in the middle of all the political decisions that are happening around us, and so just sending a lot of love and support to all the Iranians out there that are fighting the good fight. So
seconded from me as well. Okay, take care, everyone.
Thank you.
And wherever you are, I hope you're not having too bad of a Ramadan and that you're staying safe.
Yeah.
Take care.
See you.
Bye-bye.